Hello everyone, I'm Tantan. Welcome to the second volume of Tantan's Fluffy Psychology. In this episode, you'll learn how consistent self-improvement can enhance your daily routine efficiency. Today, I want to talk about the straight punches of gratitude theory, which hold that dedicated self-improvement effort leads to greater ease and speed in daily tasks. I'll also share my thoughts from a psychological perspective. Actually, I had put this video aside for a while, but I thought it would be perfect for the new year, so I pulled it out. It's common to set goals for the new year and try to work hard, but then not be able to keep it up, right? This video is for people like me. Be sure to watch it until the end. First off, what's the straight punches of gratitude theory? I'm sure some of you haven't heard of it, so I'll give a brief explanation. This theory first became a hot topic when someone tweeted something along the lines of, "If I exercise and get enough sleep, I won't have time for hobbies. Isn't that all you can do to live a healthy life?" In response, someone named Efta-san quoted and retweeted it, saying, "I'm calling this the straight punches of gratitude theory, and when someone who hasn't been properly exercising, sleeping, or living a healthy life until now tries to do so properly, at first they'll just spend their days doing that, but if they keep going at it, one day they'll notice something strange. Even when they've done everything, it's still daylight." This is when it became a hot topic. A lot of people got excited about it, saying things like, "That might be true," or "No, in my case, blah blah blah." The original story comes from hunterxhunter, where Chairman Netero decides to do 10,000 straight punches a day to show his gratitude for martial arts. At first, it takes the whole day, but gradually it gets to the point where the sun is still out when he's done, and his punches exceed the speed of sound. So, from a psychological perspective, I think the straight punches of gratitude theory can be explained by two factors: habit formation and self-control. I'd like to explain that today. First, let's talk about habit formation. What image do you have of the word habit? Recently, there have been many great morning routine videos on YouTube, right? While there are good habits like waking up early or exercising, there are also less healthy habits like not being able to quit smoking or frequently eating junk food. Kage introduced the Campbell definition: a habit as the ability acquired through experience to accomplish an action without any sense of consciousness or effort. Our daily lives are actually built on habits. Kage points out that if you lose old habits, you'll have to stop and think, "What should I do next?" and invent adaptive strategy for each situation. Imagine waking up and having to decide each morning, should I open my eyes? Should I get up? Should I fold my blanket? It would be exhausting to think through everything from scratch every day. To make life easier and help us act without overthinking, we rely on habits. So, how do we turn a behavior into a habit? There are two main ways habits form, but I'll save the details for another video. For now, let's look at why habits are helpful, especially in relation to the straight punches of gratitude theory. William James explained that when we make a behavior into a habit, we can simplify and refine our action to reduce fatigue, and we can reduce the amount of conscious attention required to accomplish an action. This means that once something becomes a habit, we can do it automatically, saving our energy for other things. So, doing the same thing every day eventually makes it feel easier. And you might even find you have energy left for more. Next, on the second point, self-control. Heidi states that self-control is like a muscle. In other words, while there are of course individual differences, she argues that, like real muscles, self-control fatigues with overuse and can be strengthened through training. Here are some experimental results that clearly illustrate this. For example, here it is. This is a paper published by Muraven in 1999. 69 American university students were asked to first squeeze a hand gripper, the kind of grip strengthened device you use, for as long as possible, and then to perform a thought suppression task, a very well-known psychological technique in which participants were instructed to not think about polar bears. While humans are wired to think about polar bears when they're said like that, they were also asked to try their best to avoid them. The results were then measured. For 2 weeks, they then performed tasks requiring self-control, such as always being mindful of maintaining good posture, trying to stay in a good mood, and knowing and recording what you ate. After that, they were given the hand gripper and thought suppression tasks again, and the group that had been training with the self-control task for 2 weeks was able to squeeze for longer than the group that had not done any training. Based on this, we can explain the straight punches of gratitude theory as follows. When you do things that require self-control, like going to bed early instead of staying up late looking at your phone, or exercising regularly, your self-control will be strengthened without you even realizing it. And you'll be able to smoothly complete not only the task of living a healthy life, but also other tedious tasks in your life. As a result, because everything goes more smoothly, you will have more free time to use. That's all. I explained the straight punches of gratitude theory from a psychological perspective, from the 2 points of habit formation and self-control. If you start something and find yourself struggling along the way, remember this video. And what habit do you want to build this year? Share it with us below and let's discuss how you can incorporate it into your routine. Okay, so see you in the next video. Bye bye!